Hey there. Working on the heart behind the heart, and have been working on it for quite some time, and not capturing a ton of content footage, even though I continue to try to remember to. It's just not in my nature. But what I did not capture was a lot of pulling of redwood logs with Clarence the mule up and out of where they'd fallen. I'm trying to collect fallen redwood logs from the land here and bring them up. And I've got a little bit of footage to show you showing Aaron stripping the bark off of the logs while I stripped the bark off of these three first logs. So I'm working on getting these stood up and getting the arch made. She's right now debarking the other three, such a big help. And I'm going to show you some footage here just really quick. It's not a lot of footage, but just to keep you up to date on what's going on. And I'll try to capture more here as I figure out things, right? Like how to get the grooves notched on top of these logs with a, like, I'm going to say 150-pound log going on top of it that has to kind of get put on and taken off and put on and taken off. And there's a lot of like little things to figure out, and I'm feeling like a lot of the art creation that I'm bringing to the table is the problem solving, the like, even though it's a somewhat basic piece, there's so many details on how to make it strong enough to hold these like 350 400 pound redwood hearts. Plus I gotta think that a lot of people are gonna climb on it and sit on top of it. So I'm trying to take into account that there's like, I don't know, another 1,200 pounds of weight if 6, 7, 8 people are sitting on top of it. So how thick of a log do you need to hold up, 2,000 pounds without it falling over and killing people? This is art, I guess. This creation is what it is for me. I'm enjoying the problem solving. I'm enjoying the process. It's really an interesting, like, in order to create, you got to figure out a lot of things along the way. I have to figure out a lot of things along the way. And I'm enjoying it. So thanks for listening again, and thanks for tracking, and here's some footage. Okay, so here's a look at the logs that we've been pulling out and cutting to size to make the frame, arches, whatever I'm calling them, to hang the hearts by. There's our little bedroom tent, and this is the beautiful redwood canopy skyline we get to look at every day on our land. So here's Erin. Here's one that she's done. Here she is using the grinder to get that bark off of the redwood logs, and it actually produces quite a beautiful effect. So I'm going to play around with that further once we get it built and I can look at it. I'm not sure how they're going to end. I don't think I want to sand them. I think I want to leave them rough with these big grinder markings in them. That's kind of to be determined, but here's a beautiful shot of her grinding. And here's a little sped up. And here's a little slow-mo. This slow-mo is funny. I don't think I can get the sound to stay. I wish I could, because the sound was really funny during this little slow-mo part. Something like that. Anyway, this was just a fun little experiment with the slow-mo feature on the bark removal grinding process. Look at that excellent form. And here's a bit more of Erin doing her thing. I think I did this and included this in the video because I did another canopy shot here of the beautiful sun shining through the redwoods. And I'm just going to leave that in because it's beautiful. It's been a beautiful weekend up at the land working on the heart behind the heart with all these ones looking down on us, keeping us company, enjoying the humans doing their creative thing. Okay, and then here's a little time lapse for everybody who likes the time lapse. Very short here. Oh, I think it's too short. That's right, that was a quick fix. Okay, so this is the sawmill that will eventually cut the redwood slabs. And this is the first shot of the two logs stood up. These will eventually create the frame and the archways. But this location on the land, for those of you that know the land, is where the heart behind the heart is going to eventually live. There's the second set of squares for the second set of archways, but this is where it's eventually going to live, and I really love the location. So just a quick shot of that. And now here's Aaron and I trying to get this 150-pound log here on top of the other two freestanding logs. This is all brand new experiment, no user manual. This isn't putting together an IKEA cabinet, but boom, look at that, got it up there. I was pretty amazed that it turned out to be that easy. I mean, I don't know if it was easy. I'm just a big, strong man, you know, so I happen to be able to lift that log. But kind of getting it adjusted here and getting ready for the process of grooving out the logs and such. But right now it was more like, hey, how's it going to look? Does it look good? And then we step back here and take one final look at it. Okay, well, like I said, it's a lot of figuring out, and so I just think I just showed you some footage of Aaron and I figuring out how to get that top crossbar on top of these, like, right now they're just standing alone with no support anywhere, as I'm just trying to figure out how to piece this all together. And so now I'm going to take these posts down. I'm going to try to get them on this, figure out how to get them stable, and so I can go try to use the chainsaw to try to get those grooves to be where they need to be, so this log, you know, so the log settles into both of them into the grooves. So that's what I'm doing now, and I'm filming it, and we'll see how this all comes out. Much love. One heart. All right, so I'm really experimenting with these grooves and how to get them. The look that I want is for the logs to like be very almost perfectly grooved fit into the vertical logs. Right? This top log, they'll settle into these perfect grooves. That's the ideal scenario, but as I found out here, it's going to be a process if I can even get it to perfectly fit in there. It's definitely not an easy thing to do. You'll see some footage here in a minute of lifting it up and putting it down and lifting it up and putting it down, but here's my first attempt. All right, so like I said, I'm trial and error, learning as I go. What I definitely am aware of right here in this particular experiment is that I definitely should be wearing safety glasses and my non-cut gloves and all my stuff, my safety face mask and everything is with Erin right now, keeping her safe as she debarks the log, so that's why that's not happening. But I'm gonna stop now and go get that some safety goggles and such, because I don't want to lose an eye. And then also, like, boy, I'm really just like manhandling the chainsaw. I'm sure it's not supposed to be sparking like that. I can tell as I'm torquing it, so I'm going to stop torquing it as much. But I did see that I could get a little bit of curvature there just by chalking away at it, and I did my best. It doesn't need to fit in there perfect. And then after this chainsaw, I'm going to come in there with a grinder anyway, and I'm going to groove and smooth it all out. I'm going to try to do it molded to the top log as best possible, so figure out how to do that. Anyway, that was just a quick check in there for you. Okay, so I got my safety gear ready. I'm getting logs down. Gonna make a few more carves here. Now I've got my safety gloves on and my safety goggles. I started to get in the groove here of, whoops, falling off a little bit, but starting to figure it out how to get them cut. And then Aaron calls down from up above here, and Charlotte had called, so taking a break. Okay, so this is just a little bit of footage so you can see the process of lifting it off of the pillar logs, setting it on the ladder, grooving, trying to get it to match the cutout of the top log. I want it to settle into the groove there, like really snugly and with a nice clean look. But boy, it's been hard to find, hard to figure out, and I'm gonna have to get back to that. And then one last little bit of footage here, just showing you me trying to get the lag bolts in.